Fitz the Bill, ESPN Richmond here on 106.1. I'm Jack Fitzpatrick, joined now Coach Loren Johnson of Highland Springs. Is his Springer squad coming off of impressive victory 37-7 against William Fleming, getting set for a showdown with Hermitage Friday, an odd 2:30 p.m. kick, but it should be just as eventful as a Friday Night Lights showdown. Coach, appreciate your time. How are you doing on this Monday?
Jack, man, I'm doing well. No complaints.
So we've started this with the coaches we've caught up with, and it's Thanksgiving, and I know this is just how the calendar goes, right? But one of the most important weeks of the season for you just happens to fall on maybe one of the more interesting weeks to kind of schedule around as a coach. And for you guys, it then is backed up with a Friday 2:30 p.m. kick. How does preparations go from your side, and how do you get your squad ready to go for what is going to be a little bit of a noisier week, a little bit of a different week than normal?
I think the latter part is where I start. We try to block out as much noise as possible. To be absolutely honest with you, man, we are in a situation where you get a little time away from school, right? You can spend a little time with family. You can adjust the schedule as necessary to kind of shape the week the way you want it to be shaped. So we've done this before. We've had some success with things we've done in the past, but I've also asked some of the younger coaches that I have on staff and some of our senior captains what could be done better, right? That way we're not doing it the old way. We're doing it in a sense that could be beneficial to the guys that we have playing right now. And I think the first part of the question, if I'm not mistaken, you just talking about where we are and enjoying this time, like enjoying the fact that you're going to play. I'll be very transparent and honest. My wife, she said, wouldn't you like to be done before Thanksgiving? Like have your championship game kind of like the VISAA does? And I said, no, not at all. Like I would hate that portion of it because I'm so accustomed to what we've done here at Highland Springs, and also, schools around the country are playing on this Thanksgiving Day, and it carries a lot of weight. So I'm excited about that. And again, I think we've kind of managed our schedule to benefit us as best as we possibly can.
Coach, I'm right there with you. My girlfriend was like, you got a game the day after Thanksgiving. Like, don't you want it to kind of be over? I'm like, yeah, but we haven't really gotten any cold games yet. I want to be frigid on the sidelines. This is when football gets fun. So I'm right there with you. You mentioned some of the changes. You talked with some of your younger coaches, your seniors on your team. If there were any changes they'd like to see for this week, were there any changes that you guys implemented that maybe swayed away from the old way of doing things?
Well, on Wednesday, we're out of school. And I think what we're doing on Wednesday is usually we come in at 9:30 in the morning, give everybody the day off, right? But based on where we are right now, I think we're going to come in about the same time that we play the game, right? To kind of put ourselves in position and then give Thursday morning just the time to kind of be off and be with family as well. So we're going to take that Wednesday afternoon deal, start practice the same time we would start the game. That way everybody has a great grasp of what it will feel like. The temperature will be a little bit different because I think a cold front's coming in on Thursday. But to say the least, we know what the sun will be. We know, how to position ourselves. We know what things to look forward to and kind of be prepared on our field, which, lies into that home field advantage that we always look for.
And you have that 2 next to your name, so you've had that home field advantage up to this point. A game against Glen Allen in the quarterfinals as I fend off my dog here. Sorry about that. She's a puppy, and I've been put on puppy duty here. You got that win against Glen Allen, then a win last week against William Fleming. For you guys at home, how important is it to be playing these games at home at this point in the season?
We always want to, it's nice to walk out your own locker room. So we always want to do it. There have been times where we've not been able to. Last year against Oscar Smith, of course, it was a little bit different. Playing against Hermitage, I think in 2017 is a little bit different as well. So, other than that, we've always been the home team. So we look forward to these opportunities to kind of get comfortable in our setup and what we're doing and how we're moving and putting people in place. And it just makes it a little bit easier, man, just to kind of wake up, get here, not have to worry about traveling. It works itself out. And we kind of enjoy that. We look forward to it. We understand how to make changes if necessary, but, it's just been great to have that opportunity.
And what have you seen out of your team so far in the playoffs? This quote unquote new season. Everyone's 0-0. Every week's a it really is every week is a championship opportunity. What have you
Yeah.
seen out of your team up to this point?
I mean, just, locked in. I mean, you talking about a sense of focus that's increased. Guys are doing better academically, right? That translates to guys doing better, on the field. Guys are arriving to school on time all the time now, right? So it's almost like the school year has just started over for most guys. And just being transparent with that, like they've been better students, which I always feels like translates to better football players. They're studying a little bit more. We got some flexibility in how we maneuver now on the football field. With our field, we're a little bit landlocked. In years past, we weren't, but now we're landlocked, right? So we got one field. So you got field hockey, you got JV football, you got the band. You had all of those things during the season, and now, we can actually be on the field at 4:30 and be out of here at 6:30, which is what most schools get the opportunity to do. So that kind of changes how things are being done as well, which helps us out in a tremendous amount of areas. So that all of that makes it beneficial.
That's awesome. And now as you guys get set for this showdown with Hermitage, a nice 804 showdown in the Region 5C championship, what are you looking at of your team for this Friday 2:30 game?
Well, I mean, it's kind of cliche-ish, but it's what you got to do. You got to tackle football. I mean, these guys can run. They got, skilled guys for days. You got to make sure you do that, right? You got to play good, solid defense. And on the offensive side of the ball, man, you have to execute when they're trying to stop you. And they do a lot of different things, man. They have multiple different fronts that they can play on defense. They got some skilled guys that can play great coverage on the back end. They got some defensive ends that look the part and play the part. So we've got to make sure we win all three phases and execute every time we have the opportunity. But when you watch them on film here the last couple of weeks, man, they've played some tough games against some tough opponents, and they've won games, and they've done it all on the road. So they're not shy or new to this obstacle. We just got to make sure we make it as hard for them as possible to win a ball game over here.
And you guys also stacked your schedule with some big time showdowns throughout this season. I think you had Dinwiddie early on. You had the game against the team from Charlotte, North Carolina as well. How important is it to stack your schedule with tests, road tests, home tests, whatever it may be, early on, so that here now we are November 24th when we're talking, you guys are kind of battle tested.
Well, Jack, you said it, right? This is the new season. So the first 10 games, they mean a lot. Don't get me wrong. Like, you like to win them all. But in retrospect, man, I tell people all the time, at this point in my career, those first 10 games are practice games, right? And those first 10 games are getting you prepared for what you're trying to do in the last 5. And I had to learn that the hard way, man. You put so much effort and time into it, then you get to the end of it, and it's not what you want it to be. So what we do, man, is we try to play the best talent we possibly can, whether they're Division 4, 5, 6, 3, 2, 1, whatever it is. Play tough opponents.